Very good morning, students. Today we are going to start chapter 3 of chemistry. That chapter is elements, compounds, and mixtures. So, the topics which we are going to cover in today's video is the basic introduction towards the element, compound, and pure substances. What are elements, what are compounds, significance of chemical formula, mixtures, type of mixtures, and why there is a need for the separation of mixture. These all are the topic which we are going to cover in today's video. All of you are familiar with these terms. You are reading it since class 6th. So, not very much detail, only few description about these terms which you have already learned in the previous classes. We are going to talk about that in a little bit detailed way. So first we have to learn about matter. All of you know what is matter. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. We use a variety of substances in our daily life. Each substance around us is made up of matter. For example, the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, and some non living objects like table, chair, book, etc., are all made up of matter. So, now when we learned about matter, we have learned that each substance has a unique composition and different properties due to difference in its size, shape, and weight, etc. So, based on their composition, all substances are classified into pure and mixed substances. So, what are there are three states of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas. Now, what are mixture and what are pure substances? So, pure substances are those substances which have the constant composition and have their own properties, and mixture are those substances which have variable composition. I'll explain you it in detail in later. Now, right now we have to focus about what are pure substances. So, pure substances are the substance that consist only one kind of atoms or molecules, and the types of pure substances are mainly there are two types: elements and compounds. So, what are elements and what are compound? First, we will learn about elements. A substance that is made up of only one kind of atom is called an element. Only one kind of atoms means that we all know that all the matters are made up of atoms, and all the molecules are made up of atoms, and matter is made up of molecules. So atom is basically the smallest unit of an element or any compound. So a substance that is made up of only one kind of atom is called an element, and every element has its unique properties. Now, what do you mean by only one kind of atom? For example, if we'll take any element like iron, okay, so iron has the atoms of iron only, it will not have the atoms of copper. So here we can say that iron is an element. Why? Because it has all the atoms of iron and no any other atom is mixed with it, and all the elements are all the atoms of iron are unique, and they have their own property, and they all are same. Now, some other examples of elements are also there, like carbon, sodium, gold, and oxygen. So these all are single particles and have the identical atoms. So they are called as elements. Now, the characteristics feature of elements are elements consist of only one kind of atoms, as I already told you. Each element has its own unique individual properties. Like if we'll compare iron with oxygen or with gold, so both have different properties and they have their own unique properties. So it means that each element has its own unique and individual property. The atoms of an element show the same properties as the element. Like if iron has the property of attracting towards magnet, so all the atoms of iron will show the same property. So all the atoms of any element will show the property same as the property of element. And elements cannot be separated or broken down into simpler components by physical or chemical methods. So here um, that the atoms or the particles of the elements cannot be separated by simple components. Now, elements of atom of an element are represented by using symbols. The representation of element using the short form of abbreviation of its name is known as its chemical symbol. Here you can see some elements like helium, nitrogen, iodine, aluminium, zinc, phosphorus, magnesium, manganese, argon, platinum. So here some symbols are specified for this elements. So elements can be represented by their symbols, and that representation through the symbol of any element is called the chemical representation or its chemical symbol. Now next is about compound. Compound is also a pure substance and formed when two or more elements combine together in a fixed ratio. The property of water compound is different from the property of its constituent element because the elements lose their individual properties when they combine with other elements. The simplest example of a compound is water. We know that water is made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So when one atom of oxygen will combine to the when the two atoms of hydrogen will combine to one atom of oxygen, they will form water. Now we know that oxygen and hydrogen both are elements and both are elements and both are gaseous in nature, but when they combine with each other they form water, and that water is in liquid state. The water has the property totally different from that of oxygen and hydrogen. So that is compound. So when two or more elements combine together, they form a compound, and the compound have the property totally different from its constituent elements. And there is always a fixed ratio of combination of elements. Like for water, every molecule of water will be made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So this fixed ratio has to be applied there. Always they will be mixed in a fixed ratio. Now, what are the characteristics of the what are the characteristics feature of compound? Compound are formed when two or more atoms of different element combine together chemically in a fixed ratio. The properties of compound are different from the properties of their constituent elements, as I told you. Compound exhibit their own physical and chemical properties which will be totally different from its constituent elements, and compound can be separated into their individual components by chemical methods. So this is all about compound. Here you can see a simple example of MgCl2, that two atoms of chlorine are combining with one atom of magnesium. Now how to represent compound? We know that elements are represented by their symbols. Similarly, the representation of compound using the symbol and its constituent elements is called its chemical formula. Like here in the example you can see Mg and Cl are the two elements which combine to form MgCl2. So the chemical representation, the bonding can be shown by this diagram, and the formula MgCl2 will represent the compound. So here the compound is represented by the symbols of its constituent elements. Similarly, here are the compound and some formulas are given, like water H2O, sodium chloride NaCl, hydrochloric acid HCl. As you can see here, H2O, it means 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Magnesium oxide, CuSO4, ammonia NH3, methane CH4. All these are the ways to represent any compound by using its formula. Now, what is the significance of chemical formula? Chemical formula gives us the characteristics of compound and gives us various information about any compound. The chemical name, name of the compound we get from the chemical formula. The elements present in compound. Once we see the chemical formula of any compound, we can easily get to know from that which elements are used in that, and the number of atoms each element present in each molecule of the compound. So these are the significances of chemical formula, and we can get these informations from chemical formula of any compound. Now next, mixture. What is mixture? We have learned about pure substances, that they have fixed composition, mixed in a fixed ratio. Our pure substances have their own properties and unique properties and cannot be separated easily. Now mixture is what is mixture? Mixture is a substance that contains two or more different substances mixed together in any ratio. Different types of substances present in a mixture are called its component or constituents. Now in compounds, we have seen that two elements will mix in a fixed ratio, but in mixture it is not necessary that the ratio should be fixed. Any compound can be mixed, any element can be mixed in any ratio, or element or compound both can be mixed. Like in compound, only the elements will combine together to form a compound, but in a mixture, either two elements, two compounds, or one element and one compound can mix together in any ratio. So such kind of a substance is called as a mixture. Now the classification of the mixture is based on the state of substances that are mixed together, and hence they are classified into the following 6 types: solid mixture, liquid gas mixture, solid liquid mixture, liquid mixture, gas mixture, and solid gas mixture. These are the 6 kind of mixtures in which the substances get mixed into the different state. First example is solid mixture. First is solid mixture. Example: salt and pepper, husk and rice and soil, etc. In this type of mixture, only solids are there, no liquid. Then second is liquid gas mixture. The examples are aerated drinks, like carbon dioxide is dissolved in the water in water bodies like lakes, oxygen gas is dissolved in water. So such kind of mixture is known as liquid gas mixture. Third is solid liquid mixture. Sugar solution, sand and water, copper sulfate solution, salt and water, this all are the type of solid liquid mixture. Liquid mixture: water and milk, oil and water, alcohol and water. So in this we can see that all the materials which got mixed together are in liquid state. Then solid gas mixture, like smoke, fine dust particle and gases. So fine dust particles are in solid state, and when they get mixed with the gases, this will be called as the solid gas mixture. Then gas mixture, the mixture of air like oxygen, the carbon dioxide, noble and inert gases, etc. are the types of gas mixture. So these are the 6 types of mixtures which we are going to study in this next topic of the chapter. Now this mixture can be divided into 2 forms: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. As you can see in the diagram here, homogeneous mixture is uniformly mixed. Sorry, heterogeneous mixture is not uniformly mixed. Some pebbles are of the violet color and some are of the green color. But here in homogeneous mixture, you can see the homogeneous arrangement, the particular arrangement, proper arrangement is there. Like one violet, one green, then one violet, one green, then one green, one violet. Like this, they are arranged in a uniform way. So, in simple language, we can say that a mixture which is uniformly mixed is called as homogeneous mixture, and the mixture which is non-uniformly mixed is known as heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture does not have definite composition. For example, cereal and milk is an example of heterogeneous mixture. Soil is another example. Because soil has pebbles, plant matter and sand in it. Although you may add one substance to other, they will stay separate in the mixture. We say that this heterogeneous mixture are non-uniform. In other words, they are not exactly the same throughout. So, these are called heterogeneous mixture. The mixture in which the components that make up the mixture are not distributed uniformly. Then homogeneous mixture, they are also called as solutions, and the definition is combination of two or more pure substance in which each pure substance retain its individual properties, appear to be made up of only one thing though you cannot tell the difference between the substance that make up a solution. Simply we can say the mixture in which the components that make up the mixture are distributed uniformly are called homogeneous mixture. Once the sugar is mixed with water, we cannot identify the sugar particles and water particles from the naked eye, and that mixture is homogeneous. We cannot see its particles separately. But if the stone will be mixed or pebbles will be mixed with sand, we can see it clearly, easily, that they both are combined, not combined together and not uniformly mixed and are of different state. So this is about homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixtures are uniformly mixed and heterogeneous mixture are non-uniformly mixed. Now, need of separation of mixture. In the next video, you will learn about the different method of separation of mixtures. But before that, we have to learn that why there is a need of separation of mixture. So now we know that mixture is not a pure substance. It consists of different types of components, and all these components, some may be useful for you and some may not be useful. Now, in order to use only desirable component, separation is required, and separation of mixture is necessary due to the following reason. The first, to separate useful component from the mixture. For example, by churning milk, cream is separated from milk so that both the components can be used appropriately. In order to use milk and cream both, the separation of milk, cream from the milk is required. So this is called separation of mixture, and this separation is useful because at the same time we are using milk as well as cream. Second, to remove unwanted materials and impurities from the mixture. For example, separation of husk from rice grains, unwanted stones from the rice grains or pulses before cooking, and separation of unwanted leaves from the raw leafy vegetables. These all are the requirements, and we can see need for separation of mixture because we have to remove impurities from any kind of substance. Third is to get desirable pure substances. For example, in the preparation of tea, tea leaves are separated from brewed tea. First it is boiled, and then after taking the desirable substance, we thrown it out and or we strained it out. So these are the reason that why the separation of mixture is required. So this is all about today's video. In next video we are going to learn about the different methods of separation of different kind of mixtures, like separating solid mixture, solid liquid mixture, and so on. So in next video we are going to learn about that, and then our chapter will be finished and I'll give you the notes for this chapter. Till then, understand about the terminologies, the things which I have explained in this video. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me or clear it out in the school app chat box. Thank you and have a nice day.